Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be discussing about chapter 3, lesson 1, which is about graphing relationships. Now, graphing is nothing new to you because everyone knows what a graph looks like. Graphs are pictures, thick representations of numbers. Numbers which can be represented in the form of pictures is called as a graph. So, in this lesson, we'll be concentrating on line graphs, but rather than writing the numbers, we are just going to represent the situations given to us in these graphs. So they will give you a situation and they will ask you to either draw a graph or depict the graph. Like they will ask you to find out which graph represents the situation. Now, before we discuss the answers for these questions, I want to show you about the changes which could take place in a graph. Now, these are the changes which could take place in a graph. You will see a line like this going up. So in a graph, whenever there is a line going up, that denotes increasing of anything. Now it really depends on what the graph is talking about. If the graph is talking about speed, if there is a line going up, that means the speed is increasing. If the graph is talking about growth, that means there is a increased growth. So this is how you depict graphs. So wherever there is a line going up, the line going up indicates that there is an increase of something. Now there are two types of increases. Can you see that there's a difference between these two graphs? Though both of them are going up in the same way, but there is a difference between them. This is a flatter line compared to this one. This is a more steeper line. Now, what's the difference between these two lines? Though both of them are going upwards, there is a bit difference between them. Now, what's the difference? These lines, which are more kind of flat, they show a steady increase. Steady means they do increase at a steady pace. Pace means speed, or steady growth or steady increase. So it means if they increase in a kind of the normal rate. Okay, so steady means it's a normal increase or a normal growth. But here, when the line is a steeper one, this shows a quick increase or a rapid increase. Rapid is quick. Another word for rapid is quick. So quick increase. So wherever there is a quick increase, the line will be a steeper one like that. The more flatter ones, they show a steady increase, and the more steeper ones show a quick increase. So that's the difference between both the increases. Now, when there is a flat line like this means that the growth or the speed is a constant one. Constant means it's the same. It has no changes, but rather it's going to be the same. Means if a car is traveling at this speed, means that the car did not change its speed. It's traveling at this same speed. If the growth means that the growth will be this, I mean there will be no growth. That will be a flatter line. When you look at the graphs, when we discuss the graphs, I'll show you in detail. But when there is a flatter line, that means if there's a horizontal line, that means it's constant or it stays the same. So depending on the graph which you are analyzing, the words may change. Then if the line comes downwards, that shows a decrease. Now if the line goes up shows an increase, definitely the line coming down shows a decrease. Now again, like the previous increase, these two also they both show decreases because both of the lines are coming down, but then there is a difference. This line is a flatter one than this is a steep one. So same like that, this shows a steady decrease, means a slowly decrease. So this shows a steady decrease, whereas a steep line shows a quick decrease, means the speed or anything which is decreasing is coming down very fast. So this is a quick decrease. So these are the different types of graph images you will find. All of them will be put together and they will ask you to find the uh, translate the graph. That's what they will ask you to do. So all what you need to do is you need to remember this. If it's going up, if the line is going up, it means increase. If it's a flatter one, it's a steady increase. And if it's a steeper one, it's a quick increase. If the line is flat, it's constant or it's staying the same. Whereas if it's a downward line, that means it's decreasing. But if it is a flatter line, that's a steady decrease. And if it is a steeper line, that's a quick decrease. So keeping this in mind, let's see how we can solve these questions. So they have given three graphs for you, graph A, B, and C. So they have given you three situations. A tomato plant grows taller at a steady pace. So they're telling you the tomato plant is growing tall, but it is growing tall at a steady pace. Steady pace means the growth is going to be the same throughout. So just now we discussed a steady pace means the line is going to be a flatter one, right? So according to these graphs, which graph has the flatter line? So you can see that the flatter line is for graph C. So this is going to be for graph C at a steady pace, right? Now let's look at the other one. A tomato plant grows quickly at first, so it's growing quickly, so that means there's a quick growth, remains a constant height, so remains a constant height during a dry spell, then grows at a steady pace again. So there are three things to be seen in this graph. First, it's growing quickly, then it remains constant, it remains the same, and then it's growing at a steady pace again. So which graph do you think? Graph A or graph B, which is showing this? It's a growth quickly. Can I say this line is a quick growth? This is a way flatter line, so it cannot be a quick growth. The quick growth will be shown with a steeper line like this. So see this part, this is a steeper line here. So this is a quick growth, then it is staying the same. So these are the three parts. Can you see? This line is constant, so that means it's staying the same, and then it is growing at a steady pace, means it's growing at a normal rate. So that would be graph B. Now let's see the representation for graph A. You will definitely guess this is graph A, but let's see what they say. A tomato plant grows at a slow pace. It's growing very slowly. Then grows rapidly. Rapidly means quickly with more sun and water. Of course, if you give more sunlight and water for a plant, it will quickly grow. So it's growing at a slow pace. Can you see that it's a very slow pace because the line is very flat, right? It's more like downwards. So, but it is still increasing. So it's growing, but then when you give more sun and water, it is quickly growing. So this is how you interpret graphs. It's easy if you remember those words which I told you, right? Now Laura has $15 to spend on a movie rentals for the week. So Laura has $15 which you can spend for the movies. Each rental costs $3. So for one rental, it is $3. Sketch a graph to show how much money she might spend on movies in a week. Tell whether the graph is continuous or discrete. Now, there are two types of graphs, a continuous graph and a discrete graph. The ones which we saw in the previous question, they are continuous graphs because can you see that the lines are keeping on moving. Now, usually these kinds of continuous graphs are shown for growth of a speed, any kind of activity which is moving, right? A discrete graph is a graph which is shown by points. So now according to the situation for question number 4, that is each rental is 1. So we are going to mark the graph for each one. So if you start graphing, your graph will be not a continuous one because there will be no 0 rentals. So we start with 1. So to make it easier for you, let me draw a table here. So this is going to be the table. So they have given you to draw for 5 movie rentals. So we need 5. So 1 and 2. Not necessary that you need to draw, but because the explanation has to be more clear, I'm drawing this table for you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the number of rentals, and for the cost for each rental is 5. So for one movie, it's $3, right? Yeah. Each rental costs 3. So if for 1 it's 3, for 2 it's going to be 6. For 3 it's going to be $9. Then for 4, it's going to be $12, and for 5, it's going to be $15. So let's draw this. So number of rentals. For 1, it's 3. So for 1, it's 3, and for 2, it's 6. So keep your ruler properly, just join where they both meet. So for 2, it is 6. Do draw it more neatly than how I am doing, because it's very difficult to get the exact points here. So 1, 3, 2, 6. And then for 3, it's 9. For 4, it's 12. And for 5, it's 15. So this is going to be your graph. Now, is this graph a continuous one or a discrete one? It is going to be a discrete one, because we are showing the graph in points. And why did we show it in points? Because we want to show the units, or we want to show the price or the cost for each one. So for 1, it's 3, for 2, it's 6, it goes like that. And discrete graphs are often used where we cannot show the continuous growth or continuous improvements. We use, because the movies and the number of cost of something is not continuous. So we usually don't show it in a line graph, we show it in a discrete graph. Okay, now here is your story time. You have to write your own story, a situation for the given graph. Now, definitely your idea and my idea and your friend's idea differ from each other. So do not think one is correct. Don't think that the teacher's one is only correct or your one is only correct. No, the ideas do differ, but the words which we are going to use has to be the same. Whether you talk about a plant, whether you talk about a baby, you talk about an animal, anything you talk, but the idea, the story can be different, the situation can be different, but then the words which we are going to use is going to be the same. So here the graph shows relationship between the weight and the age. So here we have the age and the weight, which means the graph is something to do with the age and weight of something. So when it comes about weight and age, usually we talk about babies, or we could talk about age is from living things, right? Yeah. So you can take any living thing, but you can use a baby, or you can use, usually it's baby's weight, or girls like you, and girls, boys, any gender you could use. So let me write a possible explanation, right? Um, Now, first, let's depict the graph. There are 3 parts for the graph. Can you see? From here to here, there is a change, and from here to here, there is a change. So from here to here, it is increasing. Now, you need to see whether it is increasing quickly or slowly. Now, this is a steeper graph, which means it is quickly increasing. If it was slow, it would have been a flatter line. And then here, again, it is increasing, but then it's more flat. You have to read the graph very carefully. So this is going to be a flat growth, but a slow one, right? And then here it's a straight line. It's a horizontal line. It shows that it's a constant one, right? That there is no growth. So let's see. Let me say it's a kitten. Okay, so I'm going to write it as a kitten. You can replace the word kitten with anything else you want. So a kitten gains weight. When we talk about weight, we usually say gain weight. We don't say increase weight. A kitten gains weight quickly after birth, because it starts from 0. Can you see? So from the time it's born, that's from 0. And for a certain time, that's the age. So it's certain, like for some time, it has grown quickly. So we could say a kitten gains weight quickly after birth. And then what happens? Then more slowly, because the graph is flatter there, but it is increasing. Then more slowly, or you can even say gained weight more slowly. It's totally up to you how you are going to change the words. I'm only giving you an idea what the words should be here. Until it reaches its maximum weight. Because now, because I'm talking about a kitten, I'm talking at its maximum. Now, if you would have told it's a baby. So you could say a baby gains weight quickly after birth, then more slowly, and then the weight remains constant for some age, because that's a baby. Now kitten, yes, they just gain some weight for a certain time, but after that they don't. So until it reaches its maximum. So after this, the kitten's weight is going to be the same until you feed it with more food. It will gain more weight, which is not good for them, right? So this is how you have to interpret the graph. Now, which are the important words here? This is important: quickly, more slowly, and until it reaches its maximum, or you could write the word as the weight stays constant. Okay, so that's how you write it. Now this is a continuous graph because it shows the continuous improvement of the continuous growth of something. Now this is a, what kind of graph is that? The next one. That's a discrete graph because it shows the number of something for each thing. So packages and weight. So relate them. Packages and weight means, of course, like some package. So the weight of one package is 10, the weight of two packages is 20. They did not ask us to write anything in detail. So we are just going to give a quick representation of the graph. So each package weighs 10 pounds, right? You can see one package weighs 10 pounds, means each package weighs 10 pounds. The box can hold up to 60 pounds. The box can hold up to 60 pounds. Now this is how I have written the graph. Now definitely you can say the number of packages increase, the weight also increases. You could say that too. So it really doesn't matter. You don't really need to copy my exact words. I have given you another option. You can say the more number of packages, the more weight increases. So you can see that, right? So the best way to write is like this. You can write it in a clear way. Each package is 10 pounds, so the box can now hold up to 60 pounds. We really do not know what the situation behind is. So you can depict, you can write it in your own words. So this is how you write or interpret graphs in your own ID with your own ideas. And the important thing in this lesson is to translate the graph in words. So hope you have understood that. So till we meet again, keep practicing.